Hey everybody, welcome back to Impulse Plays. This is Andy Culpepper here with Crazy Carl Winter, and we are here to do the gameplay of the Blue-Black NexusNought versus the OathReplenish
Yes,
units. So
sweet
this should
matchup,
be
sweet matchup.
exciting.
We got like two kind of combo decks, although the Nexus Knot deck is more like aggro combo, whereas the Replenish deck is more aggro, or no, sorry, it's more the control combo, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, yeah,
Sweet.
Oath being a control prisonish kind of card. Yep.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, let's get started with the video. We've got myself on the left playing Nexus Knot and Chris on the right playing Oath Replenish. Um, we are playing this is part of a like little get together we did with the very small Impulse crew. We're playing on a card table, but the camera is on a adjacent table which was being like shaken around a lot because of shuffling. But so that if you see some earthquakes, that's what it is. But Ben,
Yeah,
what?
little
Yeah,
ley line of earthquake going on.
yeah, definitely. So looks like I got a mulligan to 6. um Ben has a fancy 4K camera that we're trying to work with here, so hopefully it looks nicer. But it looks like I'm keeping on 6. And who do we have on the play? I'm thinking it's Chris. If I Yeah, okay. So he starts off with the Darker Wastes.
All right.
Um,
So how does this matchup go? I have no idea.
yeah, I don't either. I'm thinking that Oath of Druids is obviously pretty scary in general, but Phyrexian Dreadnought's a twelve
Yeah.
twelve. So like if the Terror War comes out as a 3/3 or a 4/4, or really
Mm-hmm.
realistically anything less than a 12/12, like the Dreadnought's just gonna kill it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Chris has Swords
Right,
of
and if
Plowshares
you
in his main deck,
can,
which he's got in his hand. He's got Parallax Wave.
yeah.
Like he's got a lot of answers
Okay.
to the Phyrexian Dreadnought plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I am running Parallax Nexus, which is a fading enchantment for 3 mana. Everybody I've played against swears it's 4, and exiles a card for fading counter, and then you get them all back after it dies. But the blue black
That's
Dreadnought deck
right.
has this duress, and looking at this hand, he's got an intuition down at the bottom there. This is very dependent on the hand you have. Like if yeah, intuition is just such a powerful
Yeah.
card. Yeah.
Okay. I was hoping you'd have the Nexus there and you'd be able to take the seal,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then just
Yeah.
mind twist the next turn. But
Yeah,
it
yeah. Chris has a really
looks
good
like
hand
probably not.
against any Dreadnought deck, but
Yeah.
against Blue Black specifically, he's really strong because he's got Steel Cleansing, he's got Swords of Plowshares, he's got Parallax Wave. Like, there's just a lot of things that answer the threats that the Nexus Dreadnought deck is trying to put out.
Mm-hmm. So he does play out the seal, so you would need 4 mana to mind twist him, I guess, if you had the stifle
You
rolled up.
need 4 mana plus a second Stifle on your turn
Hmm.
because you can
Good
play the
point, because
Nexus.
you can't stack you can't
Exactly, it's
put
sorcery
all
speed.
5 activations right
Exactly,
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Parallax Nexus is a black and 2 for an enchantment with 5 fading counters. As a sorcery, keynote, as a sorcery, you can remove a fading counter to exile a card face up from your opponent's hand of their choice. Um, should you try to exile a card from their hand, you can just Steel Cleansing in response and then just, exile something crappy. And that's the end of the Nexus. It's done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Chris is in really good shape here. There are not a lot of threats that the Nexus Knot
Yeah.
that could put out that he can't deal
So
with.
he looks like so he has opalescence and wave
Mm.
in hand, it looks like.
Basically everything you want. Like I can't
Yeah.
think of anything more that you could possibly want as the Oath Replenish deck.
Yeah. I
So we got
mean, yeah. Okay, so you do go for a dreadnought here in the face of the
mm-hmm.
seal on board.
Yep. So he goes down to 18 to cast Swords of Plowshares. I've got a second Vision Charm, which then gets stopped by the Seal Cleansing. So it's a 3 for 2, not ideal, but I did Gush, so like there's a little bit of card advantage
Hmm.
recovered there. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but
Softening up the hand a little bit.
yeah, notably, I don't have 2 blue untapped here. So Chris could go for like a wave or more importantly, an opalescence, which this deck does not have an
Hmm.
answer to main deck.
Yeah, once you get to that combo in play, that's pretty much lights out. Yeah, there's no real.
Yeah, I
I mean, you,
mean,
you only
you
win
could
with
like
creatures.
maybe stifle or something. I don't
Well,
know.
stifle. Right, you can stifle the return trigger of the wave. So if he goes for
Mm-hmm.
a trick, you
To
can
get
stop it
back
from
the
coming
wave.
back in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So he resolves an Opalescence, and it looks like he's a Wasteland for this Underground River. Yeah. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. And Parallax Nexus. And Chris, I think, has
Mm.
fewer than 5 cards in his hand. And he's gonna lose them all. So this is where the wave Opalescence combo gets interrupted. So 3 cards in hand.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
You can kind of shortcut
And you'll
things
have
where you
a
exile 3 things.
yeah, you'll have a
And
3/3 attacker there for a couple turns too,
I
which is
sure do.
nice.
Looking back on this, I don't know that I remember that, but we'll find out. Oh no, I
Okay.
remind him. Yeah, we remind him
Yeah,
here that he
yeah,
cannot
no,
connect with the Opalescence here.
yeah.
I
They
forget
say
the
each other.
fade, but I've got to fade down to 1. Yeah, okay, I remember that. I gush. And I mean, I could drop like a Dreadnought and stifle it or whatever, but I mean, when I've got this Nexus, it's fine. Yeah, I forget that I can attack with the Nexus. Because I'm really, really bad at the game.
Well, now he's got a blocker up,
True, which is not ideal. He drops the land, which
which
means that the Nexus can't, fade out another card or whatever. Granted, I would be able to do it anyway because it's going to fade out of my turn, but
so it's gonna go to 0 on your turn, right?
yeah. So the
Okay.
turn after my next turn, he gets his
Yeah.
cards back, unless I have a Stifle, which could stifle the least playability of the Parallax Nexus, removing his cards permanently, which is really bad, because that's one of his 2 Terrorvores and one of his 3 waves. And I forget that I have a thing and don't block, so I took 3
That'd be
damage.
cool if you would block the treetop and stifle the least play, get an
Exactly,
extra card
yeah.
out of it.
Yep. A player that actually knows how the game works would probably have done that, but that's just where we are.
If you have the Stifle in hand, I don't know if you have the Stifle yet.
Yeah, I wasn't kind enough to show the hand to us, but I want to say that I do, because I would not be just sitting around doing nothing. Yeah, I've got
You
the
seem pretty
Stifle.
confident. There you go.
Yeah, I've got the Stifle for the least playability of the Nexus. Did you know you can get foil Parallax Nexuses for around $5 a piece? Because you can.
$5. That's crazy. Yeah, that card isn't played anywhere, I
Exactly.
guess.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Parallax Tide, like $60. Parallax Nexus,
Oh yeah,
$5.
amazing.
Yep. So Chris has got not a lot going on here. He's got his Treetop Village, which is cracking in for some damage. But I've got a full
Yeah,
hand.
looks like
Cycle the Unearth. I've got to have like a Psychotog or
okay.
something here.
I
I
think he
mean,
has what a frantic search and replenish in hand.
yeah, that's not
Yeah,
super strong. I've drawn the 3rd Gush, which is pretty good.
that's definitely what you want to see. Yeah,
Why did I put those in the graveyard?
just
Oh,
kind
I
of
just
discarding the
ended the
effect.
turn. Okay, sure, why not? Yeah.
Wow, so you got a Dreadnought in there. Looks like, but
But no
maybe no
enabler. And
enabler.
that's something I talked to you and Ben about, is that I feel like this NexusNought deck is fighting for stifles. Like, you want to stifle your Nexuses, but you also want to stifle your Dreadnoughts. And the same stifle does not work on the same card. So like how I explained
That's
to my small child that
very
the same
true.
dollar cannot be spent on the same thing. So like you have to be very very careful with what you got
That's a
to
good point. Yeah, you gotta
it.
budget your. What's the next best thing? Is it Interdict? Is that a card that does anything, or
It doesn't counteract triggered abilities.
it
It only
does?
counters activated
Okay. Oh, it's
abilities.
only
Yep.
activated. Okay.
Yeah, Stifle's the only thing in pre-modern that stops a triggered ability.
Bind. What does bind do?
Counters an
Draws a
activated
card. I know
ability.
that.
Yep. Counters an activated ability and
Activated.
draws a card.
Yeah.
Yep. For 2 mana. Yep.
Okay.
Otherwise, we would be looking at Bug Nexus decks, and oh boy, that would be something else entirely.
That'd be pretty sick.
All right, Doctor's Thief comes out, and it looks like Chris is going to go for that Frantic Search. I don't hate going for it on my end step, but something that a lot of people tend
Yeah.
to not notice or not remember is like it's a free spell, so you can do it on your turn. It doesn't matter. You get an extra card on your turn to discard. Like, it's just
decide if you want to discard. Yeah.
normally better to do it on your own turn.
Yeah. It's kind of like Gush in that respect.
Exactly. Unless you're worried about it getting countered, in which case, by all means, go for end step. But like, you're filtering 2 cards, like it's it's whatever. But
yeah. So now he's got an attunement to go along with that, with this another replenish in his hand.
Yep, as frantic. I could see the frantic search into intuition maybe, but just frantic searching for frantic searching's sake is not not ideal here. But it does cycle him through some cards. The problem is like replenish isn't a threat. He really needs to draw Parallax Wave. Parallax Wave is just straight up game over at this point.
Yeah, Yeah, I think the game plan right now is get the attunement into play and try to start spinning that
Start
into
digging. Exactly. Yeah.
something good. Yeah.
Yeah. For folks that don't know how the Parallax Wave Opalescence combo works, is Opalescence turns your Parallax Wave, which is a 4-mana enchantment that's fading 5, remove a fading counter to exile a creature. When your Parallax Wave leaves play, all the creatures come back from the Parallax Wave. Wave lets you, with Opalescence, exile your opponent's stuff. In response, remove the wave. The wave then triggers the lead play ability, and then the remove trigger remove activation of all resolves, and then stuff just gets removed forever. So, against this blue black dreadnought deck, like wave opalescence is just game over. There's no way to remove the opalescence, and there's just too many activations of wave to deal with. This is where I forget that 2 minutes is a creature, so I pump the second time and kill.
That's a good play. He forces you to
Yeah, I
remove a
don't think
few
he
cards out of
bounced. He doesn't even bounce it. He's just like,
Oh,
sure,
he
I'll
didn't.
just eat up cards from your graveyard.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got replenish in hand, I
yeah.
guess.
He's got to bounce it and then discard 4 cards. Like he does not want to discard anything. I mean, I guess, but I bet
I'd be okay milling 3 cards off the top right now. I feel like.
maybe I don't know because like the dreadnought player has 2 blue mana open, so
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, he's going for it. Okay.
Okay. So he sees a tide.
The problem is he has to keep that replenish. He has no choice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're just basically milling 3,
Yeah, exactly.
letting the
Well,
attunement
you're
die.
milling 3
Yeah.
plus letting the attunement go to the graveyard, so like it's just kind of I guess it's fine, but like you could
Right.
mill like
I mean, it would
another
have died.
replenish, which would be really problematic
Like
for
it's
you.
like anyway.
Yeah, I don't know that I like the bouncing the attunement here because like oh he goes for discarding the
Oh,
replenish. Okay,
keeps the tide. Okay. Wow.
I mean Tide's a very powerful card.
Can
Um,
you cast the tide right now?
uh, Andy, we don't worry about the types of colors we have in our games.
Details.
We just
Minor
attack
details.
with we just attack with shoot
Oh,
up villages
just
and then
attack the
kill the
lead.
opponent.
Yeah.
That's the thing you can do. Yeah, yeah. All
Wow.
right, nicely played from Chris. Actually
Yeah, I
paying
kind
attention
of
to the board
like
state, whereas I'm just looking at things you can cast and be like, oh yeah, no, you can't do that. It's fine.
just turning things sideways. Yeah, I kind of neglected to notice that a second treetop had been added to the board there.
Andy, you know how I can tell you and I both play too many control decks? We just completely
We
ignore
don't.
things that are on the board.
We miss lethal. We miss lethal
Exactly,
every time.
exactly. Yeah. Oh man. So all right, looks like Chris is a mold of 6. I start off with a portent, which man, such a good card. Such a good card. And I would like for folks that are watching, if you have a monitor or a display that can show 4K video, let me know if this looks better than the 1080p videos that we posted in the past, because that'd be sweet. All right, duress on turn 2, which is pretty good. Looks like we're gonna be
Not
stopping
bad.
another intuition. Like there's an orange champ, but
Mm,
man, intuition's such a good card. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, there
most
it goes.
likely.
Um, poor Chris. He had just gotten his second intuition. He was borrowing. Oh no, he got his first intuition. He was borrowing the second one from me. And thus
Yeah,
far, we've gone 2 games where I've duressed his intuition before he's had a chance to cast it. So sorry, dude.
never letting people have nice things, Carl.
Nope. That is not a thing we're allowed to happen. We're not letting that happen. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know, get yourself where you need to be,
Even if
and
the
then go.
parallax wave is actually a better card, you still take the intuition just to rub it in.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Man, this 3-color deck has got pretty good mana going into turn 2 here. Like, no, there's no blue in play, but he's got an Outer Voice in hand and a Fledgestrand. So like, that's really good 3-color mana base. Another duress. Okay. I feel like you got to take the
Right.
wave here, but like,
Yeah, always feels bad taking enchantments when you know a replenish might be
yeah,
coming. Yeah,
yeah,
so I could see the argument for
yeah, no doubt.
that.
This was later in the day, and Ben was kind enough to bring over a very large box of IPAs. So I cannot, confidently say my play was good at this point in the day, but this
You
seems like a
don't take
decent duress.
responsibility for your actions
I
around
never
this
do. I
point.
never do. Nope. As an elected official, I will never take responsibility for my actions.
Oh, I forgot you.
I did. I
You
ran for my local school board because why not?
yeah, sweet. Yeah.
Yep. All right. The wasteland hits the underground river, but gets
All right.
stifled.
You burn one of the precious stifles here.
Exactly, and Stifle's super super important for this particular version of the deck
Mhm.
because you want to use it on your dreadnoughts, you want to use it on your nexuses, like
Yeah.
super super powerful,
All right. So yeah, you just want to slam that Tog.
which is totally fine.
Make
Yeah,
make
Psychic
sure
Tog's
you're
a
at
good card.
black mana. Yeah. Absolutely.
Drop a Police Duty and crash in for one. Didn't even bother to try and do the math there. I just confidently knew I did not have enough damage to kill him with lethal.
You just have a feel for these things. Once you win a vintage championship with
Mm-hmm.
the card, you
You'd think, but
still grind fight.
I regularly check my Psychic Tog math. I have no clue.
No, no, no.
I
You
have no
still got to count. Yeah.
yeah. Like I feel like having played the game for basically 25 years now, I can vibe with a lot of stuff and kind of go off of feels for a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Still have to check Psychic Tog math.
Yeah.
All right, Chris has got really nice mana. And does he go for anything? I don't know. Yeah, he's got wave opalescence to play. Jeez, that's strong.
Yeah.
But I've got 4 mana
Yeah.
untapped,
Maybe
which every counter in my deck stops every single thing he's going to try and do this turn. So,
right. Even at days right now. Yeah.
mm-hmm. I think looking at his deck list, going back to it, I think he had 3 waves. I think I would try go for the wave here, like get a counter out of my hand, even if it's days, and then try and slam the opalescence next turn. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe I might mess with the opalescence myself just because the
Just
wave
try and
actually
jam it
does
in. Yeah,
more in the spot.
yeah, but you have my argument is you have more waves than you have opalescences. He's on 2 opalescence
Oh, I
and 3
see.
waves.
Yeah.
Um
Okay. Yeah.
okay, so I go for the foil,
That
yeah,
makes
which
sense.
seems reasonable. Um
Mm-hmm.
the argument could be that opalescence does stone cold nothing on its own, so like bait the counterspell with it, right? Yeah, I mean you can then wave out that Psychic Talk for
Yeah.
4 turns, it just does nothing. I've got
Yeah.
2
Because
cards in
you're
my
not.
hand.
He's not facing lethal right
Right.
anytime soon in
Which
that Tog.
I intuitively know the math is not lethal for quite a few turns, so
Yeah. I mean, Gush changes things a lot, but
it certainly does. It certainly does. Ooh, then Nexus comes out
ooh,
with his like 2 card hand, 3 card hand. So this is a strength of
card hand.
Parallax Nexus is you can exile 4 to 5 or 3 to 4 cards for 2 turns. That is not nothing.
Yeah, that's like a huge tempo play.
Very big, yeah, very big. I was playing in the monthly this month. I was playing against I can't remember who I was playing against, but they had Uktabi Orangutan in their deck. It was in their hand. I cast Parallax Nexus. Nexus like 3 cards. They exiled the Uktabi Orangutan on the 3rd card, and then I went for Stifle Knot the next turn, and then they just lost because like they didn't have the Uktabi Orangutan anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like just, being able to wipe out whatever defenses they may have and then slam a Dreadnought and kill them before the Nexus leaves play. Seems like a pretty sweet line. Okay, so you do have lethal here, looks like.
I apparently do. I
Wow.
was trying to count that as I was doing it, and it did not look like lethal. But you know what? Past me
Yeah.
probably knows what's going on. It's fine.
Yeah,
Going
Tog math, it escalates quickly.
It
Like,
really does, especially
when, when
Gush.
the,
Gush
when the,
is what I think 5.5
yeah,
damage if I'm remembering correctly, or something. No, it's
yeah.
six
Is
and a
it
half, six and a half,
six
six and a
even?
half. It's 6.5.
6.5, yeah.
Factor of Fiction is 6, and
Right,
then
Gush is
Gush
six
is
and a
six
half.
and a half. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
two
the
chips in
comments,
hand.
please remind me of how bad I am with my Psychotog math if I'm wrong on the Factor of Fiction. So Chris is looking at a decent hand. He's got Tide, he's got Plow, he's got the mana to cast. Oh, he only has Islands. Ooh.
Oh,
Arcane Lab is a strong card against the Stifle Knot deck, though.
hmm. A
Arcane
sword from
Lab's
the
a
chant.
yeah. Arcane Lab is a 3 mana enchantment that only lets each player play 1 spell per turn. Notably, Phyrexian Dreadnought, you generally can't keep it in play unless you play a Stifle or a Vision Charm to keep it in play. So I start with the Tournament Duress. I think I have a Psychotog in my hand here.
Hmm.
So the question is, do I care about the Arcane Lab? And it seems that I don't. So this would be a really nice spot to stop the Arcane Lab because I don't know this, but he only has 1 in his sideboard. So like Duress
Right.
slows that down for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, it's funny. He has exactly 2 islands in his list, and okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's his
There's the white
3
source.
color lamps.
Yeah, but he is
Yeah.
notably set back a turn now, so he cannot
Mhm.
you know do something and then cast Arcane Lab or something. So
Right.
The layers are great. They do have which I love about pre-modern. They have a very, very concrete cost to
Mhm.
use them in a game.
Yeah, I wonder if he would have been able to cast the lab on 3 if he wanted to play the second isle and then play the
Mm-hmm.
let's land on turn 3, but maybe just he figured he'd have a counter ready.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to get his colors under him right away.
Which I don't think is unreasonable. Like,
No, not at all.
he's got an Orm's Chant in hand, so like you go for Chant, um, Arcane Lab, which is fine. That said, I mean, Orm's Chant
Mhm.
is such a powerful card against Dreadnought because like they can play the Phyrexian Dreadnought. You play Orm's Chant, which stops your opponent from playing a spell. They then can't stifle or vision charm that Phyrexian Dreadnought, and unless they randomly have 12 power worth of creatures in play, they can't keep it in play, and it just dies.
Yeah, it's like a better swords at that point.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Which he has Sword Slashers in hand
Maybe.
too. Like he's got all the answers for this Dreadnought deck. Like, um,
Yeah,
and I am imagining I
definitely.
saw a Psych in my hand. I'm pretty sure I take the plow here.
Okay.
That's got to be the right pick, right? Because
Yeah.
like Arcane Lab does not answer plow. None of the other cards answer plow. Yeah, yeah, take plow. Or sorry,
Mhm.
the Dreadnought, the Psych. Yeah. So
Yeah.
definitely leading into the Psych plan. Got a counter spell. Yeah, there's just not a lot Chris is gonna do here.
Oh, you're going for the okay.
Interesting. I guess I'm just baiting
Cool.
out the Orms chant. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, sure. Why not? Yeah. It's one less Orms chant to deal with.
It's a 1-for-1, I guess. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
not the 2-for-1 that apply with these.
exactly. It's different than the Disenchant or Sword
Yeah.
Slashers would be because you have to let the Dreadnought resolve and then destroy it after the enabler happens. But notably, Orms chant doesn't stop Psychedog from being a thing. So he's got the
That's
lab here.
correct.
He's got an
And
opening for the
Arcane Lab
lab.
doesn't
Yep. And Arcane Lab does
yeah,
not
Lab
stop
doesn't do
Psychedog. Nope.
much against the Tog either. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Um, I know there's been a
Does he have
lot of
another
talk. Does he have another what?
does he have another swords or another source?
No, no,
Or he
he's got a
probably just has
wave in hand,
yeah,
wave in
okay.
hand,
Yeah.
which is quite strong. But the problem is like this Dreadnought deck plays what like 11 counter magic spells. So like Chris
Mm.
can try and cast spells. I have cast a foil thus far, so like the odds of a
Mhm.
spell resolving not super high
Mhm.
because Chris cannot play Orm's Chant then cast a spell, which is a
Right.
big
Yeah,
downside.
that's true. Yeah, they when Arcane Lab is in play, actually the player with counter spells is looking pretty good because
Much more favored,
they
yeah. And he
can
draws another
yeah.
Orm's Chant, which just without that second mana to kick it and stop the attack phase of the target of it, does nothing in this
Mhm.
situation. I guess it
Right.
stops like casting a portent or something, but it's just not super good. Oh, the
Ooh,
Nexus
the
comes
Nexus,
out.
yeah. I was actually thinking that might be one of the nicest follow-ups here.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Removes 4 cards. Okay.
So he's pretty much
Okay,
oh,
he's
okay,
got a
seal.
seal cleansing. That's not nothing. Yeah. Oh boy.
You got too greedy with the stifle on that fetch
Oh
there. Oh
my
no, you got
god.
it.
Oh my god. So
Okay.
typically you have to wait for the Nexus to kill
Oh
itself
man.
off the fading. Chris did
Yeah,
the kindness of killing it on his turn when I had not cast a spell, and
man.
I could then just cast a stifle to stop his hand from coming back. That is
This is this is abusive right now.
yeah, that's gonna be really
I don't
hard to
know
come
what to
back
say.
from.
I mean,
He's
he's
got a
locked under his
plow.
own lab here.
Yep. Oh, he doesn't? Okay. I guess yeah, you might as well cast the plow on my turn, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Kills
okay.
he
No,
got the
no
psych
counter.
dog, so I didn't have to counterspell.
Oh,
That's
you
pretty
yeah. I think
strong.
yeah. So you have another one in your hand.
Probably, yeah, I'd have to imagine. Because I think between the main deck and sideboard, the Stifle Nut deck, there is approximately 0 ways to deal with Arcane Lab. But Psych Tog is a hell of a card.
Wow. Yeah, especially when it has flash. Looks like you played it on Zen stuff there.
I think we just went through the
Um.
turns very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. uh. Yeah.
All right, so he's gonna fetch. Fetching is 1 less card or 2 less cards that the Psych Tog player has to discard or exile. Which is not nothing. Gets another planes. Yep, that's going to enable any parallax waves or opalescences to come into play. Opalescence notably will let him block with that Arcane Lab, which would be really sweet.
I suppose. Yeah, it would let him get it off
I
the battlefield.
unfortunately think I see 2 counter spells in my hand for Chris, so that's not quite where he wants to be. And drawing land is
Yeah.
definitely. I don't know that I agree with playing this third white source here because he is playing a frantic search deck.
Mm, good point.
Although, nope, he's played both the training searches, so it doesn't matter. Although he has an attunement in his deck, unless he
I
didn't.
think that too, yeah.
If he signed it out, not a big deal. But if he did not sign it out, pretty huge, yeah. All right, looks like the Psychotog going to be able to do the 14 damage to end the game and finish the match for the NexusNought deck. Pretty sweet.
Very nice. Yeah, I have to say, Nexus looked pretty sick in that match.
Yeah, it looked really good. I will spoil people that anybody that followed me in the monthly event, it was not good in my monthly matches. It was good in like 2 of them. I went 2 and 3, so it was not great. So I brought in Sabo's webs against the treetops, but like not super strong because he's not playing port. So like, I don't know if that's right.
Yeah,
like,
he's got wasteland if he happens to tap a wasteland or something. But
I guess that's kind of loose though. Like, okay, sure, you stop a wasteland, but like, you're not stopping Mishra's factories. You're not stopping Rashadan ports.
It's not amazing. Yeah, and he took out Dreadnought. Looks like.
Yeah, I think a null is pretty good. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of a null, but pretty good here. Something I do often against decks that have answers to the Dreadnought plan when I'm playing a non-Dreadnought win condition is to side out a Dreadnought and a Vision Charm, just to reduce reliance on that combo. I don't know if that's right, but it's what I do.
Yeah, it could be the Psychotog is actually a better threat in this matchup.
I think so. I mean, Game 3 definitely highlighted how important Psychotog is.
Yeah, it doesn't die to Orange Chant.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. It doesn't get stopped by Orange Chant. Doesn't get stopped by Seal Cleansing. Doesn't get stopped by Arcane Lab. Pretty sweet. Chris did bring in a Tormod script, which I'm not a huge fan of. A lot of people bring that against the Psychotog deck, thinking they just can't exile the graveyard, but it's not a very good answer.
Yeah, no, it's really not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can always just do mini pumps or
exactly.
A lot of the power of Psychotog is the discarding.
Yes, for sure. Phyrexian Furnace quite good against any graveyard based deck. I play a lot of graveyard based decks, so please don't play Phyrexian Furnaces, everybody. If you could just play Tormod scripts, that'd be great. We'll just continue on that. Right. Any final thoughts on that match, Andy?
Oh, that was cool. I enjoyed watching that.
Yeah,
it was fun seeing the Nexus.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks since we played that match. I had forgotten how it went, which is always how I like the matches to go. Yeah, Nexus looked really good. It looked really good, that match.
Totally.
I don't know if it's actually good, but maybe some more play testing will show that it's good or not.
Yeah, if you could play like 8 Stifles, that would be.
I did consider playing Motion Scrolls, but that's a lot of commitment to the bit. That's a lot of commitment to the bit.
Yeah, might be a little too far.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this NexusNought versus Oath Enchantress match. For Andy Culpepper and the rest of the Impulse crew, thank you for joining us and have a great rest of the day.